furious on this track. Renegades TNT Monster Truck Challenge. Kids of all ages coming out to enjoy it, from the youngest to the oldest, as they enjoy monster truck racing across America. And coming to the line next in first round competition, one of the BREEN brothers, John BREEN, and his Mad Dog machine taking on John Moore out of Lafayette, Tennessee, with no problem. John Moore, Army, one of the guys on the circuit that pays his own way.
Yeah, he's one of the strong independents. He'll be working off the spectator side, making a right turn, but a good hole shot by the Chevrolet Mad Dog out of Missouri. John BREEN jumps into the corner and gets himself a little out of shape. Meanwhile, Moore, the independent, kind of coming on slow and straight. I believe BREEN may be in a whole lot of trouble. The Ford's pulling back on him, Richard.
He's got more than problems. He's got a disqualification. John BREEN disqualified because he went off course. Rules say you've got to have both tires coming across the crunch cars. BREEN on the second set of crunch did not do that. He has been disqualified. So your winner, John Moore, out of Tennessee, the Volunteer State. John, one of the up-and-coming stars on the Renegades TNT circuit. Earlier today, he spent some time with Army Armstrong discussing what it was like to be an independent and racing across America.
You know, in every facet of motorsport, there's an independent element in that sport. You got your big buck sponsors, but a lot of times the backbone of the sport are what we call the independents. You hear it referred to quite frequently on the NASCAR circuit. The independents are looking good today, or what have you. This sport is no different. The independent monster truck driver, there's a place for him in the sport. John Moore, based out of the state of Tennessee, his wife Heidi and his daughter Jill, they follow the national circuit on the Renegade Tour. He's an independent. John, what possessed you to get involved in this sport?
Well, we really wanted to go out and show crowds that we could build a safe and runnable deal, and get into the monster truck thing. It looked like it was something that I thought I'd really enjoy doing.
Okay, the driving style has to be affected by the finances involved in the sport. The big buck fellas, they'll go out, they beat and bang, they thrash, they tear stuff up. Sometimes they make it to the final, sometimes they don't. You keep chugging along, you know. Without the big buck sponsor, you drive differently than those that are sponsored.
Well, I hate to say it, but we've got to look to next week, and that's where we're surviving at. So being an owner, and I drive it myself, we just take it just a little easier than a big buck operation does, because the equipment has got to make it the next week, and hope that we don't break it too bad.
Well, despite being an independent, I can say from right here, John Moore gives it his all each and every week. And we are ready for our final round of first round competition. Final round action, that is Rod Litzow, USA 1, taking on the little Casper machine, Dale Harris, one of the favorites on the circuit, but then Rod Litzow really coming on strong in the national point standings.
I'll tell you what, Rod Litzow carrying that USA 1, red, white, and blue, got to be a Chevrolet color combination to the max. He came out of nowhere and immediately went after Bigfoot, your national points leader. But right now, the True Value Hardware Chevrolet USA 1 comes around a little bit late getting in the corner. Harris may have cut the course. We don't know. From my viewpoint, I cannot tell, Richard.
All right, well, he's definitely off course now, no matter what happened earlier, and your winner is going to be Rod Litzow. Winner USA 1 will move on. Dale Harris and Casper going off course. Don't know if it was mechanical problems right now. I'm sure it must be something going wrong with the Casper machine. We'll try to find out a little bit later on for you. Meanwhile, Rod Litzow moves on. Here he is with Army.
Rod Litzow takes the True Value Mechanic USA 1 Chevrolet to a first-round win. Rod, everybody seems to be having a little bit of problems going into the second jump of cars. What seems to be causing that problem?
It's a little slippery in between the tracks. It's a little wet back there, and it's asphalt, so when you mix a little mud with the water, it makes them slippery coming out.
Well, we started off with 10 monster trucks in competition. USA 1 Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America. He advances to the next round.
Well, Rod Litzow on the USA 1 machine, fast becoming the monster truck to beat on this national circuit. We are ready now for quarter-final round competition. First competitors to the line ought to be a dandy. Stomper 2 against Bigfoot. Rich Hoosier going up against Starvin Marvin Smith. Smith getting here because he was fast loser. First round competition. Army, we'll let you call the takeoff from trackside there.
Hoosier, lane choice, picks a back stretch. He's going to be trying to dive into that corner. He'll be making a left-hand turn. Meanwhile, Marvin Smith comes out with the awesome Stomper 2 Chevrolet. Cranks right. Hoosier with the Ford, the first to go into the infield portion of the track. It looks like he might be advancing. From my viewpoint, I can't tell
we're coming back to you, Richard.
Easily advancing Bigfoot, the Ford outduels the Chevrolet this time. Rich Hoosier, your national points leader, moves on. Meanwhile, starving Marvin Smith is going to head home. There you see one of the fan favorites across America, Bigfoot and Rich Hoosier, getting ready to step down to step up with Army Armstrong.
The current national point leader does what he has to do. He advances to the next round of elimination. Looked like a strong run out there tonight, Rich.
Yeah, the thing we've been racing lately, these straight courses, when we come back to these turns, it takes a little bit to get back into it. But everybody's running strong. It's going to be a good finish.
Well, you brought out an interesting point about the course. Now, chasing the Renegade points, you fellas are competing on straight courses. You're competing on figure-8 courses. This is the first time that I know you've been on the U course. Which course do you actually like better as a driver?
Well, I'll tell you what, the one with the turns really sees how good a truck handles in both situations, fast over the cars and making turns. You get a lot more speed out of them straight courses, but here shows you a little bit more what the truck can do.
Think you can put the Ford back in the winner's circle and stay on top of the national points chase this evening?
Well, I'm going to give it everything I got, Army.
Rich Hoosier doing what he does so well, driving Bigfoot to the #1 spot.
More quarterfinal round competition on ESPN in just a moment.